Righty lot, so welcome back to, and this is the fifth part of the six-part lyric breakdown series. I've done five of these, I can't believe I'm already done with it. It feels like I only started it about 5 minutes ago, but it's because I've already broken down one of the songs, there's only six to do, and today it is Changes, not the Tupac song, I know, going, but this is a complicated one because, not really because of the actual song itself, but there's a bit of a backstory that I need to explain. Changes is probably my favourite. Um, Made It Out Alive song. Although I think Change the Tide is probably the best song, and I think Beast and Groovy Road is probably the better song than this. I really like what I did with Changes. I think there's just something about it I really like, and it's always like on my set list. And whenever I kind of make plans for like, oh, if I'm going to do a 10 song set or like an 8 song set or a 12 song set, Changes always makes those kind of lists, even though it's like 2, 3 years old. There's just something about it I really like, but yeah. Now, Changes kind of the backstory to this song. If you don't know, my original plan for the first album, or like EP or whatever, was going to be called I Knew My Client from the Beginning. And I talked about some of the songs that were going to be on there before. The original track list consists of Be Stronger, Wave, Find Your Way. Of course, as you know, we were going to have a song called A Start, a song called Money Calling Off the Fountain, a song called Long Aston, a song called Cardboard Box, which of course I did bring that, a song called Changes, and there's one more that has slipped my head right now, which is quite embarrassing that I've forgotten. I think Reverse was going to be the last one, so of course I brought back some of those track lists and ideas of points, but yeah, this original song was going to be completely different. It's going to be just a straight ballad, the first kind of ballad that I ever wrote, and it's like, it was about kind of how I had to change myself, and the only thing I kept pretty much was that song title. Like, this is nothing common in the original. It's just interesting that I had an idea. Like, why am I even telling the town? But Changes, this song was like, this was one where I think during this period, because this album was so anecdotal, because with Progress State of Progress and the new album, I planned out all the tracks way before I even started writing anything, which is the best way to do it, and then I'll kind of come up with the genres ideas, then the key instrumentals, and then kind of work on stuff. This album more a case of randomly an event would happen. I'd ring up the keyboard like I needed some up this week. Really short notice for him, to be honest. It was really bad, and he'd cover something for me. Changes was kind of a big step for me because I think it was the first song that was super personal and intimate. Because I think before this, I did the Be Stronger Wave, Find a Way stuff, which is more about the music career. Almost Fallen was very broad. Same with Be Stronger rewrote. The Manipulation was like, it wasn't meant to be a song at this point. It was just something I wrote on the side. But Changes was kind of an idea that I developed. The storyline here, and it's a very complicated tale, and it's very hard to tell this story without getting too specific. So basically, I I kind of said some stuff I shouldn't have said. To put it very frankly, I crossed the line. I'll be open with that fact. And I wrote some messages to someone about a certain person crossing the line, and I was like, whatever you do, please. I regretted them. I deleted them, but then they told me they screenshot them. I don't remember why. Probably just because they found them funny. I was like, whatever you do, don't show anyone else. And because this image is kind of like if this gets out, it could ruin stuff. And I was like, and they were like, I won't. They, but they went back on this, sent it to someone else, and then every time I was having issues with them and someone else, and they're like, oh, basically I blocked someone. This person who got the image friend, I blocked their friend, and I was like, if they were like, if you don't unblock my friend, I will show this image to the person you really don't want to see it. And I was like, well, really, I should have unblocked them, and it was petty of me. in a sense, but I didn't double down. I didn't actually think they were going to do that because I thought they're my friend, they're not going to do that, but as they did, and yeah, so I was disconnected from a person. At this time, it was like I couldn't be. It really broke me, and pretty much everyone was against me for about a 4 week period. Everyone forgot about it after half term. Let's be honest. Like, come back, it's like, oh, it's a new term, all friends again, happy days. But it's like, and I only had like two people who kind of looked up to me in this period. So it was like that was really difficult. So that's the story behind changes. I feel like I need to get that out of the way before I kind of break them the tail. So that's kind of the situation. I am on my own. All of my friends have turned against me, including kind of the person that I care about the most, and I'm just there pretty much alone. So and it meant a single word or phrase completely changed the game, put the past down the drain. That's it, easy, still thrown away. That's when a moment could change it all. You're on top of the world, and then you fall in an instant. You have to draw to assess the situation. I feel that sometimes all it takes is a word to throw into jeopardy and completely ruin a relationship of years. And it's like that's how quickly summer, and it doesn't matter everything you put into summer. Like the simplest of mistake, and I'm not gonna say it was a little mistake. I made a big mistake, but two or three mistakes probably. But it was like it was just thrown away like that. Understand the implications and unravel the lies and manipulation in that moment. She's a face to crack it off anything you think gone, once you've gone, so yourself to blame. At the moment, still gone, you know, must move on because from the past and the dreams you had, but never had bad chance. In the end, yourself has changed and maintained to maintain isolated lots. We keep this better at the time coming needs to change. Um, I blame myself a lot, which I was in the wrong. I don't think I was the worst person in this story. I don't think anyone really came out of it looking good, apart from the one person who sided with me, who wasn't involved. They were the only neutral party here. Um, but yeah, I did kind of blame myself, and it was like I just could not like. I really thought this couldn't be it. I really thought I'd thrown it away for something so stupid, and when I did wrote these messages that the image was made out of, I didn't think it would blow over. I forgot about it because it wasn't like I made this image, like wrote these messages, they screenshotted it, like an hour later it was being sent. This was a month, like this was a long time later. I didn't know they had this, and then they brought it out like in a kind of situation, and I was like, bloody hell. So I think there were multiple parties there, but like I couldn't cope with that. I couldn't deal with all of that, and I felt isolated. I did. I need to talk to people. I need to socialize because I just get low about that, and I felt I couldn't, and I've kind of stuck in my circle with my two friends, and it was like I didn't like that at all. It was horrible. And the silence, I couldn't deal with that silence. I couldn't deal with that. I depended on them. I was a bit obsessed. I'll be real with you, but in this period of time that kind of broke me. And yeah, chorus is change. I'll be really feeling change, really awful. Fade film separation, dreadful change. All the good is fading, everything rearranging. I really like the hook here. It's kind of a mix between a rap sing hook. I feel like the vocal layering could have been a bit better in the final cut, but yeah. Um, but I feel like I haven't said the elephant in the room with this song. We'll get to in a minute, but there's one major issue with changes, which I'll kind of talk about at the end, I think. And the more I delve into it, I was like, it gets more and more apparent. Then we got the truth was hurt people. Some will leave, others gone. Like in the blink of an eye, gone. You lost their lyric in song. That's out of the ground with putting on all. I like the kind of imagery, losing lyrics in the song. Quite poetic, considering like I could barely speak a lot of times during this thing. But it's like, yeah, people do come and go in life, and I think, but the way this kind of happened, it broke me. People change things, ways in the ocean, the accents. Most of you will leave them because of your devotion. I wasn't ready to kind of accept that there's a possibility that this thing could be that we could be separated. That I didn't even kind of comprehend that idea. I didn't like to think about that idea at all. It was very much like that. Then kind of the extended kind of verse three, but like extension of verse two. I'm the only person to blame. I'm the reason it went that way. I made the decision. I had to trust. I'm the reason that it went to duh. I'm sitting in my worst state. I did everything to not make heartbreaking. I look at that. It's away from one last state, sitting forever. You know, open my heart, all fell apart. Went to find out that. Yeah. So big. This is where I really like. I think the other verses I don't go too heavy on it, but it's like I really blame myself because I was the first cog in this thing. I made the first blunder. I made the first error in this storyline, and you know, that I decided to trust someone who I shouldn't have trusted in this situation, and I am the reason that down the line it went to dust because I refused to see that. I'm sitting in my worst state, and yeah, I was. This was worse than I'd ever been. Of course, this wasn't the worst I would get in this time period. That would fast forward to the June fiasco, but go watch the Bandage Low breakdown if you want to know about that. But um, it was like I did so much for this person. We had so many nights, we had so much time, and I felt I've kind of thrown everything away, everything out the window, the like a stupid error, and it's like I've gone back to square one after all this built. I hope this is how you remember me, that I had a legacy, wasting my time, something to believe, something that never could be. I want to know everything to me. Can never make you an enemy, but that's what happened. We don't. I couldn't hate this person because they hadn't actually done anything wrong. I think their reaction was very reasonable. I would have done it if the roles were reversed. So, but it was like I couldn't make them an enemy. But it was like I understood. But it was like I was so frustrated with myself. I did everything. Everything was perfect, right on track. Then the crack stopped to show us fit everything. I did think that the fan axe made the fan who was very ribbling that face to colour threw it away now to pick up a piece. Her way back, start now in the back to not let it fall apart. And then I kind of got into the chorus for like a minute. This song I really like the kind of climax of it, but it's like I don't have it written there because I kind of just improvised bits and pieces of it. But yeah, it's like it was literally gone like that, and it was like in the click of the fingers, like a 4 year kind of friendship was just on the toilet. And like things were getting better, things were getting closer, and especially with things I've learned. A month down the line, if anything, I should have probably left it here, but it's like it's an era's over, and I felt that I would have to change. I thought things were going to get worse, but the big elephant in the room were changes, and what ruined the song for me, and what was that, like I said, this lasted 2 weeks. For 2 weeks, I was like, the lyrics in this song. I'm going on about legacies. I'm going on about like future sticking with me forever, and it's like it is so extreme. And I think it is a testament to the state that I was in. I was like procrastinating and exaggerating and kind of picturing the worst case scenario that this could lead me to, because I was like, that's what I felt the way my life was going at that time, that was where it was going to go. And it was like, but like I read it now and I do cringe in a sense because I was, oh my god, I was so like obsessed in the sense. I was so like, I thought this was such a big deal. And the funny thing was that the person kind of like later on said they weren't even that offended about it. They just felt like I like deserved a punishment, which was a bit toxic and stuff. But like they didn't even care. And I just, it was a catalyst of blunders and assholes, really. The story of changes, and yeah, it's one of my favourites of my songs just because of the way it sounds. But it's such a frustrating song because, like, literally, I wrote this. I was like, "Oh, this is a great song." Went in, performed it, and then I'm like, "Well, like, already this is outdated." Like, and I think because it's so explicit and because it's so in the moment, it's written in the present, and I don't think it's as universal because Bandage was written in the present, but I think Bandage I can listen to it now and kind of think, okay, yeah, I've passed that period, but I can still kind of picture it. And I think Bandage was a big step from this, but I think Changes was a baby step in my songwriting and in progression. So yeah, it's interesting to look at it back. So that was Changes. We've got one more to go, which is This Is Me. And no, it's not the song off The Greatest Showman. Sorry to disappoint.